So if you haven't already, just making sure that you're really sitting up from the lower back, so tilting your pelvis slightly forward, drawing your belly in and up, lift your chest, roll the shoulders down, resting your hands gently on your legs, and just close your eyes and take a moment to arrive in your body, arrive with your breath. Bringing your awareness down into your feet and ankles, up through the legs. And bringing your awareness into your pelvis, up through the torso, noticing any areas of tension or pain, any areas of ease. And then bringing your awareness into your shoulders, down through the arms to the hands, feeling the contact between your hands and your legs. And then bringing your awareness up into your neck and head. Relaxing all the facial muscles, the jaw, lower lip, upper lip, nose and cheeks, eyes, eyelids, eyebrows and forehead. And then noticing any mood or emotion that you're bringing with you today. Not to judge it or criticize it, but just to notice it, be with it. And see if you can feel it, not as a concept, but just as a pattern of energy in the body. And then we'll take 3 deep, intentional breaths together. Inhaling, breathing right down deep into the abdomen, really using the diaphragm. And exhale, feeling the sitting bones drop down deep into the floor. Inhale, breathe wide into the sides and the back of the rib cage. And exhale, allow the shoulders to slide down your back. And inhale, breathing right down deep into the belly, out into the sides of the rib cage and all the way up to the top of the lungs. And exhale, let it go. Let your day so far go. And set an intention to be here for the next 60 minutes as we practice together. Okay, open your eyes, interlace your fingers in front of you, take a breath in, and exhale, push the palms away, tips of the thumbs touching, little fingers crossed, draw your belly in and up, take another breath in, and as you breathe out, turn the arms and the shoulder sockets, really keeping that low belly engaged, moving only so far as you can without going into a back bend here, so finding the movement only in the shoulders and keeping the torso completely stable. Once you've got your arms back as far as they can go without you going into a back bend, start to lift up using the arms to lengthen the side of the body, feeling the stretch from the hips to the armpits, all the way up to the wrists. And squeeze your upper arms towards your ears, draw the palms of the hands away from each other. Really active here through the arms, keeping the breath flowing. See if you can lift up any more. Lifting up out of the waist, increasing the space between the pelvis and the rib cage. And then slowly release your arms down And if you're in a cross-legged position, release your legs. If you're kneeling, you can stay where you are. And then cross your legs the other way. So bring the other foot or shin in front. Again, sit up from the lower back, so tilt the pelvis forwards, draw the belly in, lift the chest, the sternum straight up, shoulders relax down and back, and just rest your hands for a moment on your legs. And then interlace your hands the other way, so whichever way you habitually do it, switch your grip. Take a breath in, and breathing out, push the hands away. Tips of the thumbs touching, little fingers crossed. Take the mind to the low belly, draw it in and really stabilize through the torso as you take another breath in, and breathing out, start to move the arms and the shoulder sockets. Really keeping that abdomen engaged, stabilizing between the rib cage and the hips so you don't flare your ribs and go into a back bend. Then lift up out of the waist. Squeeze the upper arms in towards the ears and draw the heels of the hands away from each other. Keeping the breath flowing smoothly in and out through the nose. See if you can stretch up any more, really lengthening the sides of the torso here. And then slowly, mindfully, bring the arms down. And let's come up to standing. Okay, stand with your feet together and start to bring your awareness down into the soles of your feet. You can ground down through the heel of the right foot, pick the ball of the foot up, stretch it forwards, and spread the toes as you release them down. Ground down through the heel of the left foot, pick the ball of the foot up, stretch it forwards and spread the toes as you release them down. And then lift up all the toes together and see if you can feel the sense of the inner arch of the foot lift up as you lift your toes. So when you do this, it brings this engagement into the inner arch of the foot. And then see if you can bring the toes down but keep that sense of lift in the inner arch of the foot. And that's what you're going for, this engagement, this lift in the feet during the other standing postures. Then bring your body weight back slightly so that your hips are stacked over your heels. Lift the front of the pelvis, draw the low belly in and up, lift the chest, roll the shoulders down and back, and extend your fingertips down towards the floor. Take an inhale, stretch the arms to the sides of the room, extending across the chest and the upper back, spread the fingers really wide, as wide as you can. And then turn the arms in the shoulder sockets, keeping the rest of the alignment of the body, and take them up overhead. So body weight is still back over the heels, kneecaps still lifted, belly in and up, chest lifted, and then use the arms again to lengthen the sides of the torso, really extending to your full height, keeping the breath flowing. And then we'll go into a bit of a back bend here. I'm going to turn to the side, but you can stay where you are. Push your hips forwards, really squeeze your glutes. As you push your hips forwards a lot, lift your chest, and then just start to draw the fingers back across the ceiling. You don't need to go back very far. Really think of length more than going backwards. So lifting up out of the waist, and just drawing the fingertips a little bit further back across the ceiling. Push the hips forward more, keep the glutes squeezed. And then come back to neutral and bring your arms down to the side. Hands on hips, step or hop for a wide stride for the second warrior pose. 2 heels in one line, outside edges of your feet parallel. Body weight back over the heels, lift the front of the pelvis, draw the belly in, lift the chest, Elbows back to open across the chest, and then take your arms out to the side. Turn your left foot in slightly, and your right foot out 90 degrees, inside edge of the right foot, parallel with the long edge of the mat. Four corners of the torso, still facing pretty much the front. Inhale, lift the chest, minding the back foot, push that heel down, engage the quadricep, and then slowly sit down to the right, keeping the torso directly above your hips. Have a look down at your right knee, check it's not falling in, push it back towards the little toe side of the foot to get that external rotation in the right hip. And then finally, take your head to look along your right arm, gazing at a single point. Again, take the mind to the back foot, really make sure that heel's pushing down. See if you can lift the inner arch a little bit, find that engagement in the arch that we just did with mountain pose. Engage that left quadricep, draw the belly in and up and lift up out of the waist. Keep the breath flowing and see if you can sit down a little bit more. Maybe check in with your back arm, your left arm, make sure it hasn't drooped down behind you, bring it up in line with the shoulder, but of course relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Sit down one more time, and then bring your gaze to the front, straighten your right leg, turn the right foot round, and rest your arms a moment. Check you've still got your two heels in one line, outside edge of the feet parallel. Bring the body weight back, hands on the hips, open across the chest, turn the right foot in slightly, and the left foot out all the way. Inside edge of the left foot parallel with the long edge of the mat, four corners of the torso still facing to the front. Outstretch your arms if you haven't already done so. Inhale, lift the chest, minding the back foot, really push that heel down, keep that leg strong as you sit down to the left side. Push that left knee back towards the little toe side of the foot and turn your head to look along your left arm. Again, take the mind to the back foot, the right foot, push that heel down, see if you can lift the inner arch up, find that engagement, and keep the quadricep really strongly engaged. Draw the low belly in and up, lift the chest, lift the crown of the head, and extend through to the fingertips of both arms. Make sure that that back arm is up in line with your shoulder. As you breathe, gazing at a single point. See if you can sit down a little bit more, making sure that you keep your body in the center as you do so. Don't start to lean forwards over your leg. Keep rising up through the crown of the head. Finding the movement in the hips and keeping the torso completely stable. See if you can sit down a little bit more and then straighten the left leg, turn the feet round and step or hop back to mountain pose. Body weight back, chest lifted, roll the shoulders down, extend your fingertips down towards the floor. Step your feet to hip distance for chair pose. Toes in, heels out, outside edges of the feet parallel. Inhale, take the arms up above the head, lengthen out the waist, or keep the hands on the hips if you prefer. And then sit down into your chair pose. Check that your knees are still tracking directly above your ankles, so they're not going out or in. Body weight is back through the heels. Belly is drawing in towards the spine as you sit down a little bit more and keep the chest lifted. So we're in a back bend here, really opening across the shoulders, using the upper back muscles and the lats to draw the upper body back. Keep yourself in a back bend and really keeping that belly in towards the spine. And your tailbone down a little bit more, chest up a little bit more. Body weight still back through the heels. Sit down again. And then stand up all the way. And bring the arms down, return to mountain pose, body weight back over the heels, chest lifted, extending the fingertips down towards the floor. Again, this time with feet together, take the arms up above the head or hands on hips, body weight back onto the heels, belly in, inhale, lift up out of the waist, and exhale, sit down into your chair pose. Body weight stays in the heels, belly to spine, tailbone down more, chest lifted more, extending through to the fingertips, spreading the fingers nice and wide, belly in again, sit down again, and sit down one more time, chest up more, and then stand up, bring the arms down, body weight back, chest lifted, and breathe. Okay, hands on hips, step or hop again to a wide stride for extended side angle pose, 2 heels in one line, outside edges of the feet parallel, draw the elbows back, really open across the chest, turn the left foot in and the right foot out all the way, torso still facing to the front, inhale, lift the chest, mind in the back foot, and then exhale, sit yourself down to the right. Make sure you've really still got that engagement with the back leg, pushing that heel down, lifting the inner arch, and keeping this quadricep engaged. Then take the left elbow to the left knee and use that elbow to push the knee to the back, really aiding that external rotation. Draw the belly in and start to turn the torso and the chest up towards the ceiling. Take the top arm up and over and extend the fingertips away. Either keep the gaze forward or bring the gaze up towards the ceiling, and you can keep your right elbow on your right knee, or you can just touch the fingertips to the floor, no weight on that hand. If you've got your hand down, push your right knee into your right elbow. And then again, everyone turning the torso more up towards the ceiling, extending through to the fingertips. Check your back leg hasn't gone to sleep. Really engage that quadricep. And then bring your gaze to the front. Keep the leg bent. Come up through warrior 2. And then straighten your right leg. Turn the foot round. Hands on hips, 2 heels in one line. Elbows back, body weight back over the heels. And we'll go to the left. So turn your right foot in slightly. Left foot out 90 degrees. Torso facing the front. Inhale, lift up out of the waist, and exhale, sit down to the left. Left elbow on the knee and push the knee back. And with this elbow on the knee, don't kind of put all your weight there. It's more of a rest, and you're sort of using it a little bit rather than just collapsing down over there. And especially keeping some space here in this shoulder. Then take the top arm up and over, extend away with the palm facing down, and bring the gaze up past the arm if you wish. Start to turn the tummy and the chest up towards the ceiling, then take your left arm down to the outside edge of the ankle, no weight on the hand. And if your hand is down there, push your knee into your elbow. Draw the belly in, turn the tummy and the chest up towards the ceiling, extend those fingertips away, really feeling the stretch down the whole side of the body. See if you can sit down a little bit more. And then bring your gaze to the front, keep the leg bent, come up through warrior 2, straighten your leg, turn the feet round, and step or hop back to your mountain pose. Body weight back, chest lifted, extend through to the fingertips, and breathe. Okay, triangle pose. Step or hop to a medium to large stride. Turn your left foot in slightly and your right foot out all the way, fully rotating that leg. Both legs stay straight in this posture, so push the heel down, heels down, engage the quadriceps. And again, torso starts facing the front in the beginning. Inhale, outstretch the arms, extend across the chest and the upper back, and then exhale, start to lengthen out to the right, but don't be in a hurry to get down. Really focus on keeping this right side of the body long, so you're not collapsing down like this, and you draw this right hip back underneath you to keep that extension in the right side of the body, and come down only so far as you can keep this left shoulder up and back. So we're not turning to face the ground, we're keeping the torso open and extended. So you might bring your hand all the way to the floor, or you might be up here, depending on your flexibility. Wherever you are, draw your belly in, shoulders away from the ears, and if you wish to, you can bring your gaze up to look at the ceiling, or you can keep the gaze forwards if that's better for you. If you're looking up towards the ceiling, bring the chin close to the shoulder, so don't allow the head to drop back, but bring the chin close to the shoulder to keep the head in line with the spine. Belly in again, lengthening that right side of the body, extend up through the fingertips, shoulders away from your ears. And then you can either stay there, or if you want to challenge yourself, I'm going to have to come up a little bit for this, you can bring the arms up either side of your ears, using the abdominal muscles to support the weight of the torso here. And then coming up to center, turn your right foot round, rest your arms a moment, check you've still got your two heels in one line. And we'll go to the other side. So turn your right foot in and your left foot out all the way. Both legs strong and straight throughout the posture. Inhale, outstretch the arms, belly to spine, and exhale, start to lengthen out to the left again, focusing on keeping this length on the underside of the body. The left hip starts to move back and underneath the body so that you can keep this even length through the torso, and then coming down to wherever you can, keeping this top shoulder up and back, belly to spine. And if you want to gaze up towards the ceiling, you can, or keep your gaze forward. If you're looking up, bring the chin towards the shoulder, not the shoulder towards the chin, so the shoulder moves away from your ears, and then your chin moves towards your shoulder. Are both quadriceps still working and engaged? Really lifting up through the kneecaps, draw the belly in, extend that top arm away. And then if you want to challenge yourself, extending the arms up by the ears, keep the belly drawing in. And then coming up through center, turn your feet round and find mountain pose. Body weight back, chest lifted, extend the fingers down towards the floor and breathe. Okay, medium stride for warrior one. Hands on the hips, elbows back, two heels in one line. Pick up the left toes, turn them in. Pick up the left heel, turn it out. Find that 45-degree angle, push the heel down, engage this quadricep, and then turn your right foot out all the way. Widen your stance if you need to. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Engage the left glute, so really push that glute down to try and lengthen the lower back here. But check that as you do that, your quadricep doesn't bend, so make sure you're keeping that leg straight and keeping the heel pushed down as you then engage the glute and lengthen through the lower back. Inhale, take the arms up in line with the ears, palms facing in. Stretch up out of the waist, mind in the back foot as you sit down, bending your right knee as much as you can without losing the contact between the left heel and the floor. Drawing the belly towards the spine. Still squeeze your inner thighs together. See if you can sit down anymore. You can either hold it here, or if you wish to go into a back bend, lift up out of the waist, extend the fingers up towards the ceiling, and then slowly start to trace them backwards, finding the bend in the upper back. So lifting up before you go back, and again lifting up before you go back. Make sure the back heel is still firmly placed down and the quadricep is still lifted. See if you can sit down anymore. And then straighten your front leg, come back to neutral, turn the feet round and relax the arms down, hands on hips. Check you've still got 2 heels in one line, and we'll go to the other side. Pick up the toes and turn it in. And the heel, turn it out, turn your left foot out all the way. Squeeze your inner thighs together, start to bring that right hip round to the front. Engage the right glute, lengthen the lower back, but make sure the right quadricep is still really engaged and you still have that sense of squeeze between the inner thighs. Not much to think about. Draw the belly in. Inhale, take the arms up above the head, extend up out of the waist, and then bend your left knee, keeping that right heel firmly planted, right quadricep engaged, right glute engaged, and squeezing the inner thighs. See if you can sit down anymore. Drawing the belly towards the spine, and then either staying here, or if you want to take it into a back bend, lift up out of the waist, and draw the fingers back. Keep the belly squeezing in towards the spine as you go backwards. And then come back to neutral, straighten your left leg and the feet round, and come back to your mountain pose. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, extend the fingers down towards the floor. Okay, step or hop to a wide stride for the standing forward bend. 2 heels in one line, and then turn the toes in a little bit more so you're slightly pigeon-toed. Body weight back over the heels, engage the quadriceps. Hands on hips, draw the elbows back, open across the chest. And I really want you to stay in a back bend here, so that might mean coming down not so far for some of you. Draw the belly in, inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, come down to a place where you're really still in a back bend, keeping the chest lifted. Engage through the quadriceps. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I go into this, my quadriceps just want to go to sleep instantly. Draw the belly in and inhale, come up. And again, exhale, coming down, belly in, quadriceps engaged, and inhale, come up. Exhale down, and you can do this as with the narrow legged version in your own time, just using the breath. It's harder, or at least it is for me, to really keep these legs engaged in this one. Really finding the movement in the pelvis, taking the stretch into the back of the legs, and keeping the chest lifted. Okay, bring the feet in, rest a moment, body weight back, chest lifted, extend the fingertips down to the floor. And we'll go again. This time, I want you to interlace your hands behind the back. So again, pigeon toe the feet slightly. See if you can find that external rotation of the feet to lift the inner arches up. Engage the quadriceps, interlace your hands behind your back, belly to spine. Start to draw the hands down past your tailbone to really open across the upper chest here. Lift the sternum and come down to wherever you can that's a suitable position for you without going into a rounded back, and then start to take the arms up above your head. If you need to hold your elbows here instead of your hands, that's better for you, please do so. Then you can start to lower down, allowing the weight of the hands to open the shoulders. And then belly to spine, and come all the way up. And then switch your grip, so bring the other thumb and fingers in front, reset the legs, engage the quadriceps, belly in, inhale, lift the chest, and again come forwards, drawing the hands away from the hips. And you might just be holding it here, or you might come further down. Engage through the quadriceps, make sure those legs haven't gone to sleep, pushing the heels out. And then belly to spine, coming all the way up. Heel toe the feet in a little bit and come back to mountain pose, body weight back, chest lifted. Extend the fingers down to the floor. Just going to get my watch so I can see what time it is. Okay, come to the top edge of your mat, if you haven't already. And we'll go down towards the floor. Feet hip distance, body weight back over the heels, chest lifted. Inhale, take the arms up. Lengthen the front of the body and then keep that length in the front body as you come forward. Bending the knees when you need to lay the stomach on the thighs and the chest on the knees. So bend your knees a lot. If you need to here, relax the head. You can give it a shake and a nod. And then just take a few deep breaths here, allowing the weight of the upper body to draw down towards the floor. And then keeping the stomach on the thighs and the chest on the knees. See if you can just lift your hips 0.5 centimetre. It's not much of a movement at all, but prioritizing that contact between stomach and thighs, chest and knees. And then as you lift the hips, you should feel a bit more of a stretch in the back of the legs. Okay, bring the gaze forward, bend your knees as much as you need to gaze forward with your fingertips on the floor. Take a couple of breaths here. And then step your feet back to your plank position. Spread the fingers nice and wide, push the floor away. Keep the glutes engaged, tailbone points down, quadriceps are engaged, belly is drawing up towards the spine, head in line, and breathing here. And then drop your knees, and just drop the hips back and rest for a moment in child's pose. And stack your hands if you need to. you want to keep it active, you can extend the fingertips away from the body, creeping them forward, using them to lengthen the torso, or you can just completely relax, whichever feels good for you. Okay, then make your way to an all-fours position. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And we're going to do the work that we've done a few times before, bringing the elbows down towards the floor. So if you know it, go ahead. If you need to have a look for the first couple, then do so. You're going to bring the points of the elbows directly down towards the floor, and then lift up, keeping that rotation in the shoulders. And if this is super easy for you, you can make it more difficult by bringing more weight into the hands as you do it. And if it's really hard, you can make your stance a little bit longer and take some weight off. But doing it really, whichever position you're in, doing it really slow and controlled, keeping the elbows squeezing in towards each other. And the elbows pointing straight back to the mat or to your body. Belly in a little bit, seeing if you can keep the whole palm flat as you do this. Okay, and then come off the wrists for a moment, maybe give them a counter stretch if you need to. And we'll go again. If that was enough for you, just stay at that level, or you come into downward dog and do the same thing. If you're wearing something that covers your elbows, you might want to expose them. And it's really important, so it's going to be harder when you do this, as you do this, that you don't go step, 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 step. Only go down so far as you can evenly and come up evenly. So this is challenging. So if you're in the down dog version, really keep the whole palm engaged, slowly lower down and slowly come up. Keeping the gaze forward, keep your knees bent and your heels up. Not really in this for the down dog, just training our arms here. So a couple more of those, whichever level you're on. And then sit on your heels again, stretch the wrists if you need to. Okay, we're now going to do some more work on the shoulders, going between a forearm plank and dolphin pose. So you're going to interlace your fingers, your elbows should be directly underneath your shoulders. So check here that you're not going too wide, keep it relatively narrow. And the little yogi's trick, if you are not used to doing this, if you just tuck your little finger that's on the bottom into your hand, then it's a bit more comfortable than kind of putting all the weight on that finger. Okay, and then you're going to come into your forearm plank position. All the same rules apply, belly in, keeping the glutes engaged. And then you're going to push back into a dolphin position. So you might want to walk in a little bit here. Relaxing the head, turning the tailbone up towards the ceiling. And then coming forward to the plank. And we're going to do these with the breath. So exhaling forward and inhaling back. Exhaling forward and inhaling back. You can do this in your own time. Let's aim for 10 to 15. If that's a lot for you, do 5 and then have a break. And then do another 5. If you can do 15 altogether, then do so. When you're in the plank position, really draw the belly in, squeeze the glutes. And when you're in your dolphin position, tailbone up towards the ceiling, head down towards the floor. Keep moving with the breath here. I have no idea how many I've done. I'm just gonna do 3 more maybe. And then next time you're in a plank, drop your knees and rest in a child's pose. I'm gonna do toes together, knees wide. And relax the forehead on the floor, or stack your hands if you need to. Breathing into the back of the body. Okay, draw the belly in. Start to come up. Then we'll do a second set. If that was really a lot on your shoulders and it didn't feel good, maybe you want to just do between high plank and regular down dog instead of dolphin and low plank. So choose whichever's for you. If you're going to do the low plank again, switch your grip so you've got your less common thumb on top, not less common, you know what I mean, non-dominant. Come to your plank position, squeeze the glutes, belly in, and then exhaling back to dolphin. I'm going to need to adjust a bit there, and inhaling forward. So another 10 to 15 if you can, doing them in sets of 5 if you need to, or just resting in child's pose if that's your jam today, also fine. Okay, I'm going to do one more, and then rest in whichever variation of child's pose is good for you. Really sending the breath into the back of the body. And then draw the belly in, start to roll up through the spine. And come to an all-fours position. Push the floor away, belly in, neutral spine, head in line, tuck your toes under, and then just lift your knees up an inch. Keep the belly drawing in, fingers are spread wide, really push the floor away, protract through the shoulder blades. And then either holding it here, if this is enough for you, or see if you can keep everything else still and just lift one set of toes off the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reset, and other side for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And everyone come down, rest the wrists, counter stretch. And come to your all-fours position again. Either do that same position or walk your hands, one hand print forward, bring the shoulders above the wrists, push the floor away, spread the fingers nice and wide, tuck the toes under, belly in, lift the knees up just an inch. Head in line, shoulders away from your ears, belly drawing strongly in. And either holding it there or lifting up one foot for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And change, other foot, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot down, knees down, rest. And stretch the wrists if you need to. And then again, doing one of those variations or coming into your full plank. Squeeze the glutes, belly to spine, push the floor away. And then either holding it here or bringing the feet together. Make sure the glutes are really squeezed, and then lifting up one leg, keeping it straight. Seeing if you can have a look down, check your pelvis is still square down to the floor, really engaging that glute of the leg that you've lifted. And change, other leg. Squeeze the glute, belly in, check your hips are still square. Pushing through the shoulders. And bring that foot down, drop the knees, and rest in a child's pose, whichever variation is good for you. And then start to roll up, draw the belly in, restacking the spine, roll the shoulders back at the top, and come down towards the floor in whichever difficult or easy way you want to. Just join me on the floor face down. And then just come up onto your elbows and have a look, because you won't be able to see once we go into it. But basically you're going to stack your hands like this and bring your forehead onto your hands. And then you're going to be lifting your leg up, but keeping the hip bone down. So I'm not doing this, I'm doing this. So really keeping the hip bone down, just finding the movement in the leg. And we'll obviously do both legs evenly and then both together. So bring your forehead down onto your stacked hands. Engage your glutes, so squeeze the glutes, push the tailbone down, draw the belly in towards the spine a little bit. Relax your left leg, engage your right leg, extend the toes away, and then lift the right leg up as far as you can without losing the contact between the front of the right hip and the floor. Imagine someone's got hold of your toes, drawing them away, lift that hip up a little bit more, really using the glutes to lift the leg. And then slowly release it down, relax the right leg, engage the left leg, draw the toes away, squeeze the glute and lift the leg up as high as you can without lifting the hip up off the floor. Keep the leg straight, so don't bend it to get it higher, completely straight. Really just using the glute to lift the weight of the leg. And then bring it down. Relax a moment, allow your heels to fall out to the side. And just breathe into the lower back. And then engage through both legs, engage the quadriceps so the kneecaps pop up off the floor, squeeze the tailbone down, really squeeze the glutes, and then lift both legs up off the floor. They're not going to come up very high. Keep the hips down, pushing the pubic bone into the mat, engaging the glutes, Legs straight. Imagine your toes are being pulled away from you as well as up. And then slowly release down. And relax the legs completely. Allow the feet to fall out to the side. Breathe into the lower back. Bring the hands either side of your chest and either push yourself straight back to your child's pose or tuck your toes under, push the heels away, engage the legs so that the knees pop up off the floor, elbows in tight, drawing down towards the hips, belly in, head in line, push to chaturanga, hold for a few seconds, squeeze those glutes, push up all the way to your plank, and then knees wide, toes together, sit the hips back down towards the heels, and use the fingertips to draw the torso forwards, extending away from your hips. And then just walk your hands a little bit out to the right, extending the left side of the body a little bit more. You can start to bring the right armpit down towards the floor and the left one up a little bit. See where you can find a good stretch that works for you. And then come back to center and go to the other side. So walking the hands out to the left a little bit. Again, twisting a little bit up towards the ceiling if that feels good. And then coming to the center, bring your knees together and rest the arms back by the heels for a moment. Allow the shoulders to completely relax. And use the pressure of the belly on the thighs to send the breath into the back of the body, up to the top of the lungs. And then draw your belly in towards your spine and really slowly start to restack the lower back, middle back, upper back, neck and head. Roll the shoulders down and we'll come over onto our backs for Shavasana. Begin with your feet flat on the floor, hip distance. Lower yourself down. And just rest here a moment. Notice what it feels like to have the back of the body on the floor. Bring the palms face up either side of you. Experiment bringing them further away or closer. Find what feels good. Then push down into the elbows, lift the chest and draw the shoulder blades deeply underneath you. Lift the head slightly, lengthen the back of the neck away. And then lift the hips and lengthen the tailbone towards your feet, lengthening the lower back. And then allow the legs to stretch out and the feet to fall out to the side. And just make any final adjustments so that you can be comfortable and still for the next few minutes. It can be good to, if you are uncomfortable laying flat, to put a pillow under your knees, just to allow the lower back to relax a little bit more. And then let go. Allow the body to release its weight into the earth. Nothing to do, nothing to hold on to. Just feel yourself supported, And as we do the body scan, you might notice that there are certain areas that haven't quite let go yet. Maybe seeing with an exhale if you can allow it to let go a little bit more. And if it wants to carry on holding on, not to judge that or criticize it, but just to notice it. We bring the awareness down into the toes, the feet and the ankles, and relax them. Bring the awareness into the calves and the shins, the knees, and relax them. Bring the awareness into the thighs, into the hips and pelvis, and relax them. Just allow the weight of the bones to sink down into the floor. And then bring your awareness up through your back, your lower back, middle back and upper back. And the abdomen, softening up to the rib cage and the chest. Relaxing the shoulders, the upper arms, elbows, and the forearms, wrists and hands. And relaxing the neck and the head, the jaw, tongue, teeth relaxed, lower lip, upper lip, nose and cheeks relaxed. Eyes, eyelids, eyebrows and forehead. And bring your awareness to your breathing. Notice the movement of the air going in and out past the nostrils. And the gentle movement of the abdomen as you inhale and the belly rises. And as you exhale, the belly falls. See if you can notice the smallest movements in the body as the motion of the breath transfers ever so slightly into the hips and the shoulder joints. Feel free to stay in Shavasana for longer if you wish to. But otherwise you can start to deepen your breath, breathing down into the belly. And slowly start to move the toes and fingers, noticing what that feels like after just a few minutes of stillness. And when you're ready to move, start to make your way back to a seated position, taking your time, perhaps laying on your side for a moment. And then coming back to an upright position, cross-legged or on your knees, sitting up straight one last time. Close your eyes. And either rest your hands on your legs or bring them to a prayer position. Namaste in front of your heart. Palms resting on the sternum. Lift the chest up one more time and roll the shoulders down. And then bow your chin towards your chest. Take a moment to notice how you feel. Close the practice however feels right for you. And then raise your head and open your eyes. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much.